This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the biggest, most practical running podcast in the world. We are not interested in the Olympics anymore. We are not interested if you've been to the Olympics and you come back with a gold medal. We are only interested in everyday runners on this show. And we are going to give you today all the opportunity to run a PB in the half marathon distance this weekend. Yes, you are right. You heard it here first. We are going to simply master several tips that are going to get you across that line in the fastest known time. Admin, how excited are you for this show? Out of 10?
12.
12. Ben?
15.
Al?
6.
Why only 6? Was you expecting Olympians on here?
No. That's as far as I've run since the beginning of June.
Oh.
So I'm kind of a bit behind on my training for Sunday.
Okay, well, don't worry about it, Al. We've got you sorted. Now, if you are joining us live for what is the greatest running podcast, we're not interested in them special elite athletes here anymore. We're only interested in absolute 100% everyday runners. We are going to be filming this live, which could be a huge mistake, or it could be genius. Now, if you are listening to this live and you are thinking, what the hell is going on? Go into the chat comments and go, what the hell's going on? And where's admin been hiding? Already got hammered. I love it. So yes, we are filming this live. Get your comments, get your conversation started in the chat box. Let us know if you've got some sneaky little half marathon tips. Now, if you're running along listening to this as a podcast, we get over 1 million downloads every week. I want you to stop and think to yourself, I wonder what's a good half marathon tip. And then email in halfmarathontips@gmail.com and we won't read it. Okay, we've got to give a shout out to our friends at Skechers. Get over to skechers.co.uk where you're going to get loads of good stuff like this t-shirt, which is super nice. You're welcome. I also want you to, once you shop there, to then head over to Kendall Mint Company, where you can use the code, Ben?
FORDY runs?
Yes, and you're going to get yourself the best fueling that you can that doesn't give you the trots. Admin, once you've finished at Kendall and you've done all your shopping, use the code FORDYRUNS. You're then going to head over to fordyruns.com/Cooper, where you can get a what with the Cooper app?
2-week free trial.
A free trial, which is the #1 app in the world. There is a reason why the London Marathon use it, and there's a reason why 40 Runs Running Club use it. It's because it's amazing. And you can get a free trial, fordyruns.com/Cooper. And once you've got your training sorted out, guess what you need, Al?
New socks.
Yes. And if you go and buy a pair of shoes to start fitness using the code 40runs, you're going to get a free pair of socks. Well done, Al. That was a good little segue there. Good one. So anyway, so once you've done all that, you're all kitted out. Have I left anybody out, admin?
No, you're all good.
So firstly, how is the team? Al, you've only run a couple of miles. Apart from your lack of mileage, how else are you?
Yeah, adjusting to new life. I've moved. So
Okay.
I'm getting used to the sunny south coast now as my
Nice.
race training destination. So, yeah.
Okay, so he's loving life down there. Admin, I know you've had some injury setbacks. Are you still in that setback phase?
I am, but I've been swimming.
No, don't
So
count. This is not an award-winning swimming podcast. There's plenty of those. Go and check them out. This is a running podcast where we give running tips and we don't talk to elite athletes. Go. So give us some value in terms of running.
I'm not running at the moment. I can't run. So
Well, how long is this going to take? Because it's quite boring.
All right. I'm boring.
No, your foot thing's boring. And this must have fixed itself by now.
No, so they reckon about 6 weeks to start doing anything. So yeah, 6 weeks. So
Are you in a cast or anything?
No, because it's too small to cast.
Oh, I'm not being funny. If it's too small to cast, then you should be able to run it. Who are you seeing? Did you know I'm a qualified doctor?
Anyone been to you?
Don't listen to my advice, people.
No.
Make sure you listen to the medical people. Ben, apart from not using that bike behind you, what have you been up to?
I went swimming with Sabrina.
Oh.
But I have been running as well.
Al, are you doing this stupid thing in the Serpentine where everyone's going to get dysentery?
No, but I will get my Classics volunteer T-shirt at the Serpentine. So I will have
Is that a real
volunteered
thing?
all. No, I'm having a T-shirt made that says Classics Volunteer 2024 because I'll have done the whole lot.
Yeah, good for you,
This
mate.
year.
They should
Yeah,
do
so-
one. They should do one. I'm going to come on to that because I want to talk to you about volunteering. But firstly, and also because none of you asked how I am, so thanks very much. Ben,
Yeah.
do you want to ask how I am?
So, FORDY, how are you?
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit upset. I'm a little bit down, and I'm a little bit worried.
Oh, are you missing someone?
Well, I know. I'll be serious. We haven't seen him for a few months. The last picture I have is this one, right? Since that was taken, nobody's seen him. I know he's small, right, and he's in a big place called Florida, but nobody's seen him. Look at him. Look out. Look. I'm just starting to get concerned. Is no one else concerned about the fact that we haven't seen him for 2 months? No, clearly not.
He's posting pictures where you can barely see him.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, he's there. He's just, Anyway, so we are worried. I think he's not back. He's not even back on this show for another 3 or 4 months. I think he's taking like a sabbatical. Maybe you upset him, Ben, when you was going on about how slow he is and how old he is now. I don't know.
Well, maybe. I'll check the HR policy on that.
Yeah, check the HR policy. So, Al, going back to what I was actually going to talk about, but if you haven't seen him, he's there. Big halves this weekend.
Yes.
And we will come back onto the big half. I know I'm skitting all over the place. That's just my idea. So you got to deal with it. But have you actually volunteered at the big half before? Or have you ran it all the time?
Just thinking. No, actually, I haven't. That's one I haven't volunteered at.
You haven't volunteered?
No.
No. In terms of the volunteering, like, because we're very blessed in terms of the club, the community, how many people come forward. What's the experience like? So if we was to try, not sell it, but if somebody came into the club and said, right, I've heard about this volunteering. What's the sort of, what can I expect? What's the benefits of it? What am I going to get out of this? What's a day look like?
It's quite often an early start. So let's be clear about that. I think the team turning up on Sunday, I think I've got to get there for about 7:30. That's not unusual. So it's a long day, but it's a very rewarding day because you just get to be part of the vibe. And I think that's the best bit, whether you're at the start, whether you're on the course, handing out waters and gels, or whether you're at the finish line on medals and t-shirts, you just get to be part of the vibe. So giving something back is really good for your well-being, and even sometimes there are some benefits. So London Marathon events, if you volunteer at some of their events, we have a club place that's available each year, so you get a credit to go in. Quite often the volunteers get a little bit of merch, a free t-shirt, whatever. So there's that as well, and more importantly, you just get to meet loads of Fordies who love you, particularly if you're at the finish line handing out medals. So as you come across the line, you see a smiling face, you see Mel, and you kind of can't but not have a great finish.
Sorry, I was on mute. But the thing is, on the flip side of it, I think for me personally, to see all of our sort of volunteers at the end of it, like makes the event like even better. And I guess it's like everybody for any club or who knows like the people who are doing it, to see them, it's almost gives you. And someone was asking about whether we got a cheer station, but I see our volunteers as like cheer stations. Does that make Ben? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, last year, if you think when we finished Big Half, you, me, and Tobe, Speedgoat finished all together, coming around that corner and just seeing the group of our volleys handing out medals, it was that was pretty special. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, the whole volunteer thing, I think, is something that's underestimated. In terms of, firstly, like as Al said, I mean, the stuff that you get back, like if you at Hackney, you then got a place at one of the other, like whatever they call limelight events, or ASICS is another one, like, well, not an ASICS, but Saucony. So, run by the same people. You get opportunities to go into some of those races that are like the ballot or like really expensive. You then get the credit. So like we then ballot off a place for a London Marathon place because of it. I think there's so many cool sort of amazing things that can happen if you do the volunteering as well. I think it's, especially if you're like injured. So admin, for example, would you consider, I know it's probably, I'm not taking the mickey now,
No.
but you're on your feet all day, right? So that's probably not a great thing for you to do. But if it wasn't like a foot injury, if it was, I don't know,
yeah, absolutely,
so your head was hanging off, I don't know, but like if you something that it didn't matter, like you were standing around all day, that would make the injury worse, would you consider doing it?
Yeah, because I've been so lucky to be at so many races where our club have had volunteer spots and you've come through them, whether it be on course or at the end of a race, and it actually gives you a bit of a pick me up when stuff is hard and you think, right, I just need to get to that point because I know I'm going to see a friendly face, or I know I'm going to see someone, or actually someone's going to give me my medal at the end. And I think it's really underrated, the value that those guys add and the impact they have on people that might have had a great run or a tough run or just okay, or might not know anybody else or have anybody at the finish waiting or going to meet anyone. These people do a huge amount, just not by being there and doing that, but actually emotionally for a lot of people. So absolutely, I think there's definitely a role of, we should all, and I should be better at it, being really open, and I think we all could be, most of us, at giving back and doing those things.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing. I just thought of something, but I've forgotten what it was. I'm a bit like that today.
Did you not write it? Add it to your list?
No, I have got a list, but I'm at that point. I spoke about this today. I'm like a bucket that's overflowing at the moment, and I need holes put into it. Overwhelmed, that was the word. So I've got no capacity for anything. Anything you say tonight, I will totally forget. You can give me the lottery numbers, I won't remember. But I did genuinely think of something there, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, moving on, because we will come back to that. We are going to come back in a bit. So bear with us in terms of sort of mastering the half marathon. We genuinely are going to give you some sort of tips to cracking it on the day, okay? And if you do these things, I'm not joking. I think you've got a good chance. If you can master some of this, you've got a good chance of running a good race. Let's put it like that. No, I still can't remember what it was. I did have I can't remember. Is it funny how you can't remember what you did, like what I was thinking about 2 minutes ago? Do you ever get that out? Or is that just my old age?
I think it must be old age. I get it all the time.
You better stick up for me. Anyway, I've got to give a shout out to the people in the comments. Oh, I remembered what it is. I was going to talk about the trains because somebody mentioned the Great North Run. Because the trains, the LNER people, have come back to work, which is awesome. So thank you very much to all those people who've decided to come back to work. Because I was having proper anxiety about next week.
Don't I know?
The great the message at 11 o'clock. How long does it take to drive there? That's genuine. I did do that. True, admin?
Yep.
There we go. What a hero. But no, so I think that's was causing a lot of stress for a lot of people for next week for the Great North Run, which is another obviously big half marathon that's coming up. And obviously on the flip side, people traveling down this weekend, I guess, would have been impacted as well for the big half. So that's a huge relief for me. But the reason why I thought about it was just as a shout out, we're not here next week, which I know some of you will absolutely be gutted about that. But we're not live next week. We are doing a pre-record, which we're filming after this, which will come out next Friday. And then we're doing a live show of this at the Great North Run Shakeout, which is sold out. So just, we had to sell it out because people were getting very nervous about the amount of people there. And I'm going to apologise now, live on air, to the people of Newcastle for next Saturday. I'm just going to put it out there.
Is your megaphone charged?
Megaphone has got new batteries, people.
Oh no.
What do you mean? Oh no! I don't think you understand how many people are coming. We're gonna need a bigger megaphone, people. Anyway, right. So I'm gonna just has anybody had a look at the? I'm just gonna say hello to everybody in the comments. Has anybody looked at any questions on there or anything?
Yeah, there's some good ones, but they're probably more related to the half. So I wonder if we wait.
Well, come on, Tex. There's one more thing I want to get to before we get into that, because tomorrow's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, tomorrow is the 1,000th. Is that right, Al? 1,000th?
Bushy hits 1,000 park runs tomorrow.
Oh, by the way, I'm with. I didn't know this, but I'm with the park run people on Thursday. Just so you know.
What?
Yeah, I know. There's this thing going on, and I'm there. I'll tell you, sir. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, but
There's a
is
nice.
anyone going with you?
No, this I'm going. I was thinking this today. I was thinking maybe someone should come with me because is the founder there? Yeah, the CEO's there. Park Run. The founder, I think it's. Or is it the founder? Yeah. And then a few other people from Park Run are going to be there, and me. And it's yeah. So I'm looking forward to that on Thursday. So just yeah.
I do need to vet your outfit in advance.
Oh, nice. I've got an absolute belter lined up. By the way, can I just give a shout out to ASICS for sending me some stuff today that I pretty much can't even get on one of my legs. Thanks very much for that. Ben, remind me tomorrow. I've got some ASICS kit for you. Just no way I'm getting it. I tried, right? One of them I couldn't even do up. My man boobs. It was like I had cleavage. It was terrible.
Was it a medium?
Actually, funny enough, it was a medium. I know somebody who might fit in that. Right, anyway, I was going on Park Run. You lot stop taking me off on different paths because it's the 1,000th. So, Al, what's that going to be like tomorrow? Because Marissa was telling us there's going to be about 1 million people there or something.
If you're in a number of different kind of Park Run groups that exist on social media, there's been lots of discussion, lots of debate about how high, how large, and whatever. So it ranges from, I think it was just under 2,000 last week for 999, which was a key number if you're a Nelson chaser, and I think they are expecting probably over 3,000 tomorrow, and it's upwards of. So who knows? But we'll have Mel Howes on the scene organising a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th finishers funnel. So we will know exactly who that last token number is before anyone else does, I'm sure.
To be fair, they couldn't have a better person doing it. I mean, if there's one person you want organising that tomorrow, it's Mel Howes, isn't it? Really? Let's be honest. Now, and talking about the park run, so how's the summer extreme park runs gone? What have they been like?
Yeah, so tomorrow is the kind of the last of the 5. So it feels like we started way back down in Southampton, and I haven't done a head count, but I think it's probably fair to say we've had good turnouts every week, and more importantly, we are making new connections across the community, and that was the whole idea of August. It wasn't about just one celebration on a single day. It was a chance to get people to tour, visit places they haven't done, and more importantly, meet other FORDYs they haven't done. And I think there might be one or two, no naming names, Mark, that if he turns up tomorrow, he might get the full house. So big shout out if you are on for 5 in 5. I know most of us have not been fortunate enough to be able to organise that, but hats off to you if you have got a full house tomorrow.
Fair enough. So make sure you get down to Bushy if you're not doing anything else tomorrow. Get your butt down to Bushy, but I'd get there early because there's probably going to be about 20,000 cars in the car park, which I don't understand, right? Because no, I'm not going there. No, I better not. Admin's looking worried.
Because I can just see this is going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah, probably not a good chap. Right, so we are going to talk about the half marathon secrets, but I did want to touch also on the big half itself because this is where we're leading with it. Now, have we all done the big half?
Yeah.
I think tomorrow will be my 4th or 5th.
Rate it out of 10, Al.
On what grounds? Because there's
experience.
So
race experience, course. You've got to put our volunteers to one side because I think they always automatically would make it a 10. So let's imagine. I don't know, Lonely Goat are there, right? So let's forget them, right? So now think of something. I don't think they do volunteers, but carry on.
I don't mind the race, and I'm going to say it's not my favourite half marathon by a long stretch, but it gets a bit of bad press mainly because of the cobbles when you're running through Wapping and stuff, and then there's that long sweaty tunnel at Rotherhithe at the start, and then there's a quiet bit as you come through Bermondsey. But apart from that, it's fantastic. And normally, to be fair, the medals are pretty good. So
Okay, long sleeve t-shirt again this year, which I thought actually is quite. I like that. No complaints on that. Admin out of 10, big half.
I'll give it a 2, and that's at a push.
I honestly didn't think he was going there. Go on then. Elaborate.
Good medal, good finisher's top. That's it.
A 2.
Yeah, well, I gave it 2 points for those 2 things. I was actually going 0, but as Al was talking, I thought, okay, think of some
Can you not get it to
positives.
3? Because you do get Tower Bridge. You get a bit of Tower Bridge thrown in.
2.5.
Okay.
I'll
Meet your
compromise with you. Honestly, there's nothing I think it's the worst out of all the half marathons I've done. If you take the volunteers away, right? I'm not
Yeah.
talking
Again,
about any of those
imagine they don't
people.
exist. Imagine
I
only
think
goes doing it.
the course is terrible. It's the worst half. It's like the tough half of the London Marathon route backwards. I actually don't care about the tunnel because that is what it is, right? The GPS is what it is. I just think it's miserable. I think you get to halfway, and when it starts getting tough, I think it's actually really miserable. You get to halfway, and then it just goes dead, unless you're running at the speed of light or with your mates.
Which brings me on to a very good point. Now, I know somebody, and I don't want to put any pressure on that person, who is going for a PB on Sunday. Ben, how do you...
Don't want to talk about it, but he's going sub 1:30 on Sunday.
Surely you won't even know the cobbles are there. You're going to be going so fast.
I mean, I'm hoping not.
No,
for me, I didn't quite think Sabrina was going to go 2.
No, I think
I think 2's a little harsh, but I was going around the 5. I mean, I was around the 4 or 5. All the points that have been made, I think. Tunnel, cobbles, where you finish. And then that walk to backdrop, and then trying to get back to a station.
Well, I've had a genius idea.
Oh God!
And I used the word genius because it was actually sort of what's the word? When you put it together,
constructed,
something like that. Anyway, Anyway, I'll think about it in 10 minutes. I'll let you know what it was. But basically, my friend who's got his own running club, he's only one member. He's sort of alluded to this. What you do is you don't bother doing bag drop. And where they're trying to send you 52 miles around Greenwich to go and get your T-shirts, you sack that off because nobody cares, and you sneak out and you go back. So I'm going to sack it all off tomorrow, Thursday, Sunday, whatever we're doing. I'm not going to bother with a T-shirt. I've got about 1 million in there. I'm so lucky. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to go under the thing, barriers, and see you later. Because then that's the worst thing with the big half. I don't actually mind it too much to a degree if you've got a plan, right? I love the way they do the start in terms of the rolling. I think that's brilliant, by the way. For me, in terms of where it starts, really is helpful for me because I've just come off of Liverpool Street, or I get my Uber driver to drop me off in his Uber Porsche. And then I get to the start, I walk down there, off I trot. Yeah, we do the tunnel. It's like a sweat box, but I probably won't have a top on anyway. And then cock about at Canary Wharf, see my mum and dad, come back. Yeah, you got the cobbles. They are what they are. You've got that horrible bit in the industrial section, which is just as dull as dishwater. And you might as well just look at a blank piece of paper for 5 miles or whatever it is. And then you're done. But you then got the worst finish in the history of running races with the 2.5 million mile trek to get your T-shirt. Sack the T-shirt off. If I could say I'm not bothered about it, give the money to charity, crack on. I'd rather them do that so I can get out of there. Now that might suit other people because they might live around there, or it's easier to get home and that works. But that's the worst bit for me is the bit at the end. Other than that, it is what it is. I just personally love running around London. I think it's a thrill that you can't underestimate. And
actually, extra half point for Cutty Sark as well, because there is nothing like that noise as you come down that finish, and it reminds you of London. Yeah, but that is,
I'm looking forward to it, mainly because I want to see what time Ben runs. But again, he's not going for a PB. If you're asking, don't put him under any pressure. 1:30. Okay. Is there anything I need to know in the comments? Because I feel like we're neglecting the feedback that we got from when we did that show. The person who now lives in Florida did say that we need to make more of an effort. On those.
Stella's on her way.
Oh, good.
That's good news.
Trains are working.
She's only doing the second leg of the relay. She's not doing the whole one this year, so she's got plenty of time to get to
I've told you. I think I've said on the air about the best story ever of Stella, wasn't it? Was when she was at the big half at the finish. Did I tell you that?
No.
I can't remember. and whatever it was. And I just remember seeing Stella hanging off a lamppost with a can of Stella. Oi, 40! Like, it was, you know, that big queue. Yeah, as you come out and you're waiting, because they used to take your numbers off your shoes. And it was and she was literally swinging around like Mary Poppins. And she had a can of Stella and she was in this hot pink 40 rounds. Oi, 40! Best thing ever.
Can I just say, though, wherever you see her, whatever race it is, she's got a smile on her face and is bringing like joy. And it just has warmth coming out of her. And yeah, bless her heart.
I just love it when we did the Great North Run, when she was down at the finish and we was down there with her. She's just a brilliant human being. I just loved her woman. She's just fantastic. She's 41. So yeah, looking forward to seeing her. Yeah. So go back to the things. What's the things people say?
Comments.
Concocted. There it is. Concocted. That was the word I was looking for.
There you go.
Yeah. There we go.
There's a bit in there about half marathons. So like I said, we'll get to those. And there's people giving other people advice. One for you, Al. Someone's asking, is the 1,000 at Bushy a Nelson? I'm guessing not, right?
No, Nelson is 111, 222, 333. So 1,000 is not a Nelson. No, I'm sorry, Alf. If you missed it last week.
Tight. What's that? Morse code? Or is that something for the Enigma? What does that mean?
It's one of those crazy park run challenges. So we chase alphabets and we chase Fibonacci numbers. We also chase Nelsons. Now a Nelson actually links back to a cricketing term. Don't go there, but 111 in cricket is referred to as a Nelson score, and we've kind of adopted it in parkrun. So multiples of 111 is a Nelson, and last week was the first opportunity so far to get a full house of 111, 222, all the way up to 999. So we've got to wait another 2 years now till.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Al. I'm going to write that down, and because it says on that thing it's a Q&A for Parkrun on Thursday. I'm going to ask the chap who invented Parkrun what he thinks about all this stuff. What's it called again? A half Nelson.
A Nelson, not a half Nelson.
Bring back the stats t-shirt. Or actually do wear your Bring Back the Stats t-shirt if you're going to see him. So, you could be stepping into controversial territory.
No, I don't want to be controversial. I'm meant to be on my best behaviour.
Yeah, so don't ask about number challenges then.
No.
Oh, is that not a thing either?
Because apparently Parkrun is just for local communities. It's not for tourists.
How do they explain the 3,000 people going to Bushy then on tomorrow?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I shared my opinion about that the other day when I said that when we try to encourage people to go to Parkrun and they get all their knickers in a twist about it. Whatever.
Anyway,
moving on before I get myself excited. David Long's had a very good idea. David Long says that we need our own Stella 40 Runs coloured t-shirt. I like that idea.
I think the store manager will love that idea.
Stella 40 Runs top. I write all these things down, guys. This is the brilliant thing about a live audience is that you can write all these things down. I do need a pen and a piece of paper for next week's show when I'm live in the Great North Run, because there will be good questions there. Right, I'm on that. Whoever wrote that. There we go. By the way, I've got another thing. I know I'm all over the place. I appreciate that. But I was at a race on
Wednesday
this week. Thank you. And I tell you the power of 40 runs. I absolutely love this. I rocked up there. I had some filming to do. And I sort of rocked up there. Was really not expecting to see anybody. I hadn't told anybody I was going there. I think I told you, Ben, only because in terms of effort, what I was doing. But other than that, I hadn't said anything to anybody because I said I needed to film something. And I rock up there, straight bum into Kieran. He's sitting there. And then Jamie was there. Emma was there. It's so lovely when you go to and it makes an evening so amazing, or a race when you least expect to bump into somebody and you see somebody that you know through this community and club that we've created. It's just like I was saying with the parkrun thing. It's brilliant. I just think it's amazing. Have you ever had that, Ben? Have you just gone somewhere and you're not expecting to see somebody from the club or something?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of a specific race, but I genuinely think any event you turn up to, you will invariably bump into a FORDY. I remember when I went and did that Bedford half last year, and I'd kept that under. I hadn't even told you. I'd only told Petra that I was going and doing that. and a couple of people came up and said hello, and it's just so nice. It's a great kind of tip for a half marathon. It does, kind of control the nerves and get you relaxed. I think just knowing that you're seeing some people at the event.
Yeah, honestly, it was lovely. Emma was kind enough to look after my bag and stuff like that. It's just amazing people. I'm looking forward to seeing so many on Sunday. I love it when I'm and the big half is a good one. Again, yeah, I mean, I know you absolutely destroyed it, but you run back some of it along the bit where you start on that, like from I think it's mile 7, you turn left and then you head up towards Tower, whatever it's called. That section there, you get to see loads of people. I think that's and in Canary Wharf actually as well. You get to see loads, and it's one of those events, that for that little section, a couple of sections where you can try and spot some of your mates, which is brilliant. Now let's move on to because I appreciate I've been jumping about. So let's move on to I called this. You're gonna love this, admin. The secrets to mastering a half marathon PB. Yeah, it's true. If you could run, this would help you. Maybe I should do my secrets to mastering your first how to get dysentery from the serpentine. Could do that for you if you wanted next week. But I generally thought about this. I thought about some bits that I think would actually help you if you're running a half marathon this weekend or next weekend. This is applicable if you're doing the Great North Run as well. Now, the first thing that I thought of, right, which is important because I've been thinking about it today. I didn't have my usual sausage sandwich because I was focused on my nutrition and hydration leading up to the race. Now, Sunday, as an example, is going to be quite warm. It's going to be 24 degrees, right, at the big half. So you even need to take more care to be hydrated before you start, put your feet on the start line. But focusing in on your nutrition is key anyway. But I think even more so as you move towards race day. What do you think, Al?
Hydration is going to be really important this weekend, as you said, because of the weather. Timing of your fueling is also key. So I'm going to be heading off quite early Sunday morning. So I'll probably have to have 2 breakfasts. Now, that sounds like a bit of a joke, but there's some sense in there in terms of getting some fuel in early and then topping it up whilst you're in the pen, waiting to go. So otherwise you could end up sitting around for 90 minutes or so. You've travelled and actually you was having your breakfast 4 or 5 hours before the start of the race. So think about the timing of that fueling as well.
Ben, question: do you fuel your? And I'm talking before the lead up, not the actual race itself. But do you change what you eat in the build up to a half marathon the night before half marathon versus what you would do for a marathon? Do you eat differently if it's only? I'll give an example. Me personally, I'll still have my boring old plain pasta that everybody knows I have. But instead of having like 6 truckloads of it, I'll probably just have one of the kids' cereal bowl of it. Because I would run a half marathon start, but I like to have a little bit of fuel in there, bit of carbohydrate in there. But I don't go mad. That's the thing. Because again, it's a higher effort, so I want to put a bit of fuel. Do you change what you eat a half marathon versus like a marathon?
Yeah, I do. I think like you, I'd adjust my portion size. I think again, it depends on what I'm going out to do. So, if it on Sunday, as you've said, I'm apparently I know I am going for it.
Don't tell anyone.
No,
don't put pressure on yourself.
No, exactly. Don't put it on Facebook.
But you've got to run 128.
But 128. So yeah,
126.
But yeah, so I'll probably have. I don't know that I'd cut down to half the size. I'd probably do like 75% of the size that I'd have for a full marathon the night before, and then in the morning I'd probably eat what I eat when I'm doing it like for a marathon. So I'd have porridge with yogurt, and then like Al said, I normally have a banana cereal bar to kind of have about an hour or so. Have the cereal bar an hour or so before, and the banana half an hour with my favourite salt sticks. I have one of them half an hour before.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so all right, that's interesting. So the bottom line is there, right, people, is think about what you're eating, and especially for Sunday because of the heat. electrolyte drinks, stuff like that. Tomorrow, Saturday, just increase the amount of stuff that you're drinking. I mean, in terms of the week leading up to a race, so let's say that half marathon, how much do you think about rest and recovery? How much importance do you put on that leading up to a half marathon?
Yeah, loads, because I've realised the night before a race, whatever it may be, whether I'm trying to run a PB or not, or just going out to have fun, I'll never sleep well because I'm always like almost a bit anxious about the day, the race, getting there, making sure I'm up on time and all of that kind of stuff. So I definitely focus more on it in the week leading up to it, making sure I'm getting plenty of sleep, plenty of fluids, plenty of rest, like recovery time, and not going too mad. In that week leading up to it, I think that's more important than the night before. I think if you're well rested in those kind of 3-4 days before, then actually not sleeping well the night before isn't going to have the impact that it could if you've just not slept well all week.
Okay. What about you? Are you like an 8-hour jobby, making sure you're getting it like all week leading up to a race?
Getting it all week. I wish. If you're
Okay,
talking
I
about
may have
sleep,
said that incorrectly, but let's keep our thoughts out
I
of the
think that
gutter.
might lead to some wobbly legs on race day. But there you
Oh,
go. That's a
no,
different
it's
problem
just not.
altogether.
Move us on. Go on. Do you get
Right,
your
where
8?
are
Do
we?
you
We're
focus?
back to sleep, are we?
Yes,
Kind of
we're
middle
back,
of the
mate.
week. Yeah.
Yes.
If it is your first half marathon, you're probably into a little bit of a mini taper. So the recovery should be an important part of those last 4 or 5 days. And I guess if you're not pushing the intensity, then you might find that you're a little bit restless. Just try and find something else to take your mind off it. It might be that you're doing some other cross training to help your taper, but that will still kind of just put enough stress on the body that you're kind of going, yeah, I'm ready for my bed at that kind of reasonable time. Stay off your phone, don't scroll, just try and kind of relax. There's loads of kind of meditation apps now that can help you just kind of focus. So just kind of tune into some of that and just find that way of just not kind of over stressing the body, because it is that stress that will sap your energy as much as anything else. So it's not just the lack of sleep, it's that cortisol punching through your body as you're starting to build up that anxiety in the lead up to the race as well.
Interesting. In terms of like your race day kit and stuff like that, man, do you test, like, so with a marathon? The reason I'm saying that, so with a marathon, I know because we both do it. We'll like have a vest or a pair of shorts or something like that, and we'll go out and we'll make sure we run in them before the big day. Would you do that for a half marathon for any race? So like if it's somebody's, I don't know, maybe they're doing their first half marathon at the weekend, or this is their third or fourth or fifth or whatever, but they're going for a time, but they want to try a new vest or something like. Would you like test that out before the big day, or would you just like rock it out anyway, or whatever?
I mean, I'm wearing all new kit on Sunday,
Right.
so I'm probably the worst person to
Run
ask for that.
125. He's wearing all new kit. Brilliant.
Try something new on
Yeah,
race
but the
day.
thing is, to correct you, you're doing that because you're trying out your marathon kit. So
exactly on that. So, but what I would say to people is, if it's your first, second, third, it's you want to feel comfortable on race day. You don't want to be getting in your head about, that's why I'm wearing mine. So in Berlin, I'm not, going to be stressing about, oh, is this going to chafe? Is this going to be like that? So I think to get that anxiety out of your head, so that you're not kind of worrying about that, I'd recommend, taking it out for a spin beforehand. I think, and if you're going for a time, but I think the more you do, actually that becomes kind of probably less of an issue, and you get kind of comfortable. So I will typically, what I'm wearing is brands that I've worn before, so I'm not worried that actually, on Sunday it's going to be chafing or stuff, because I do wear the same brands over and over again. So
I mean, in terms of like nutrition, like we talk about outfits, but I think it's also important in terms of like the nutrition, the fueling side of everything. Everyone says it's not trying anything new on race day, but do you like for races? Do you specifically, you have your nutrition at a certain time relative to your train, or have you used it in the long runs to try that? The point where I'm going is should people, do you think, have everything sort of sewn up in terms of like nutrition strategy?
Absolutely. I think it's really important because otherwise you go in fearing the unknown, right? You're adding layers of complexity and uncertainty to something that's already going to be a challenge. Like, let's not be under any illusion. Running 13 miles is
Bloody
hard
long
work,
way.
right? It's a
It's a
really
bloody
long way. And so for me, Ben's trying new kit, but I wouldn't typically try anything new on race day. Make sure you know when you're going to have your gels. Don't do anything new. Make sure you know when you're going to have water. I was caught out when I did London Marathon the first time and decided to take water at every stop possible because I was scared of dehydrating. But actually, I overhydrated, which sounds mad because I hadn't practiced taking so much in training. So I was just taking it because I thought I needed it because it was a bit warmer. So for me, know when you're going to take your gels, know when if you're taking the salt sticks, know when you need water, fluids, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, all right.
Know your plan.
Know your plan. Talking of knowing plans, right? One thing that freaks me out, and Tobe is probably the best person to. No, he's probably the worst person, but is preparing like race day logistics. That's something that like freaks me out. Now again, right? These are things, people. If you stop and actually listen to what we're trying to go through here, right? If you put all of this into play and you do all these things well, I'm telling you now, you will run a better time or you will run a better race. I'm honestly, because we're reducing anxiety, we're thinking about things that you need to prepare, getting you steps, getting you ready. Okay, so bear with us on this. But in terms of race day logistics, that's one thing that I get my knickers in a twist about, right? But what are you laughing at? Because you know, because mainly you organise.
Because I'm not laughing, because I'm laughing because it's true and I know it and we see it. But not just with you, it's so true for so many people.
It's murder. Honestly, like as I was saying about LNER thing, whatever it was, like that would have been really, I mean, with me, I offloaded that onto my brother. I was like, right, you're dealing with how I'm getting there and getting back. That's down to you. That's how I work in my brain. I had give it to somebody and go, then I don't have to think about it.
So, but you still think about it and still send them messages.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
through the night, basically.
It's that sort of thing. I don't have the capacity to deal with it like top line, but it's down below. It's sort of bubbling away, and then it will just rear its head. Usually at night when I lay down, anybody with ADHD will know that it just comes back up. But it's so in terms of race day logistics, I'm telling you now, right? This is it's not even a tip. This is like rule 101. If you know exactly what you're doing, race day morning, where you got to be, what train you're getting, boom, maybe slightly earlier train, where you got to be, where the bag drop is, where this is, where you're getting picked up, where the start is, all that sort of stuff. If you have that ironed out a week before the race and you ain't got to think about it, I'm telling you now, the energy that you will waste being nervous and anxious and overthinking all that, and immediately see an improvement in your race time. I'm telling you now, and that is someone who deep down, honestly, I experience that even on a daily basis, just getting myself to work. If I can understand exactly what I've got to be and what I've got to do, the energy that I save is huge. So I can't tell you enough now. Get all your clothes out, people, the night before. I'm not joking. Down there, I can't show you because there's some embargoed shoes over there. But I've got 3 outfits for tomorrow and 3 pairs of shoes, right? It might sound a bit nuts, but that's all stuff that I've got to wear over the weekend. And I've already got that out now because I've got to do some filming. I've got to do some other bits on Sunday and Saturday, right? That's already laid out for me. I've already tried it all on. I know exactly what I've got. And that doesn't include the race, right? So get all your stuff out, get all your gels out, get all your electrolyte tablets or whatever Ben calls them. I can't remember what they're called. But get all that stuff, all that kit out now. Know your trains, know where you got to be, know what your start is, know what your wave you're in. All that, right? Know what time the 40 runs picture is because Ben Bailey's a legend and he's organised it on Sunday. I think it's at 8 o'clock. But it's on the event page. I didn't even know it was on the event page. But they're the sort of things, I'm telling you now, people, will help on race day, okay? Now.
Can I make a suggestion also on that kit, which you just touched on, which is actually get it out 2 days before, because if something you really want to wear is in the wash, you haven't got it ready, and it's your favourite pair of shorts or socks or whatever.
Nick.
Yeah, but some people don't have that luxury. Yeah. And I can imagine Nick's response to you as well, to be fair. But yeah, I do think there's one thing, and also like if you go, I need more of this, I need to pick up gels, whatever, you've got time. I do that a lot. I'm like, right, what do I want to wear? What do I need? I actually count.
But I tell you what, if you want to get Kendall mint gels, they're the best ones. You can use the code, Ben. What is it?
40 runs.
Yeah, carry on, Abby.
But when I get a box of gels, this is going to sound mad now.
Yeah,
I will actually count out how many I need. So if I'm using them for training and a race, I'll go, right, I need 3 for this run, 4 for this run, 3 for this. So that I know I've got enough in the box to last my training periods, whether it be 8 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever. So, yeah.
Get yourself organised. Honestly, I'm telling you now, that'll help. Now,
especially if you've travelled somewhere too. So, you know, for those coming down for this weekend and for those of us travelling up to Newcastle next weekend, get it as soon as you get up there, get it out to check that you've, you know, because like admin said, you might need to go out and buy something.
Now, Al, I want to talk to you about this one because we're sharpening the pencil now. I think one of the biggest things that people don't do for sort of races, half marathons we're talking about tonight, is prepare mentally, that visualization.
Yeah.
How key is that? Like even like developing mantras and stuff like that. How important is for the listeners and the viewers and all that sort of stuff? You know, thinking about Sunday, for example, how important is it now to prepare mentally?
I think there's 2 stages to it, and we've kind of touched on the first one in terms of that build up of anxiety. Because if you think about it, you know, you could have smashed your training over 12, 14, 16 weeks, nailed every distance and every pace you wanted to run, but you go out your front door, which is known. You might run on your own routes you've run several times, which are known. You might run with your friends, which is known. And then suddenly you've got all this extra noise. So that's what it is. All this stuff we're talking about is kind of background noise. So being able to take some of that out, you know, reduces the stress. Then it's about focusing, I think, on what you want to achieve in terms of your performance on the day, and being able to have those little clues and those little tips can just help you focus back in, particularly when it gets tough. Now, you might find that tough at the start because of all that anxiety. You might find that tough halfway through, you know, if you haven't quite, you know, nailed your gels, or you might find it's tough at the end when you kind of just need that little motivation. So kind of having those little thoughts, the reasons why you're doing it, the people that have supported you along the way, and how you're going to feel at the end of it is all part of having the right mindset to tackle race day.
I'm still on mute. Yeah, no, you're spot on, and I think I mean I want to dip over to you, Ben, a little bit on this next one because I think I want you to be serious for 2 seconds. We're going to finish on a really serious point, by the way. But taking that mental preparation, which I think is key, and I do honestly, I'm telling you now, I know hand on heart that most runners, everyday runners, neglect that, right? Being in their right headspace. I'll give you an example. I wasn't in the right headspace on Wednesday, and I had an absolute pony race because I turned up with the wrong mentality. It was just like, oh, I don't really want to be here. I've got to film this Poxy shoes, blah, 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 blah. I just couldn't think of anything worse. So being mentally prepared is a game changer, right? But here's the thing. You've got to run a hard, we're not mucking about now. You've got to run a hard race on Sunday, right? There's no 2 ways to cut it up. How do you mentally get in that? But also, I think it sort of comes on to another thing I did want to touch on, and this is where I think in terms of the mental side, but also the sort of the pacing side, the effort side into the race, because you're going to be into a house of pain at some point. You're going to be in that, you know, that mid-run blues are going to kick in. How do you strategize the mental but also pacing element and getting that right for a run like that?
Yeah, and I think, and that touched on, there was a question earlier from someone about that, and I think it's probably even worse at this race because we know GPS is going to be
shocking.
Using your, I was going to say it's going to be shocking. So one thing that I do, and you'll have, those people will potentially have seen it, I know you've seen it, Chris, is I'll kind of work out certain distances of where I know what time I need to kind of cross there. So I'm reliant on, you know, kind of the mile markers being in the right place or the kilometer markers being in the right place. I will write that down probably on my right wrist or No, my left wrist actually, because I'll have my buff on there, just so I can kind of keep track. And I'll write it, and I'll have it in the back of my phone case as well, so that I can have a look. So that kind of keeps me on for that.
Will you take your phone out during a race?
Yeah, you don't remember Berlin?
Yeah.
It's forever.
Oh, sorry, you took it out because you was on Facebook Live.
Yeah, but
And
Alden, that's different when you're going for an easy. You weren't running Berlin at pace. You were running an easier effort.
And
versus...
it's only there mentally, so and so it's only there just in case, because if I accidentally say, it's going to be hot on Sunday, right? If I splash water everywhere and that's going to rub the pen off my arm, then I'll potentially have a freak out and go, what time do I need to be there? So
fair enough.
That's the only reason it will be just in the back, and it's in the back of my phone, like on a piece of paper. I don't need to unlock my phone. It'll be it is a tip, easy to get out and put back in.
It's
sounds
a good
odd.
Tip.
But and then in terms of strategy wise, I think one thing I've learned this year, I've gone for it a couple of times, is Birmingham, Hackney, Southend. I've kind of gone for it in terms of trying to get beat 1:30. Probably not necessarily in the right physical space at that point, but even mentally, I didn't really go out with a plan. It was just like you guys saw me at Hackney, and I think I was on 1:27 pace at one point, and then just
collapsed,
and then and the wheels
awful.
Exactly. Southend, Lloyd got me across the finish line and things like that. This one's run your own race. That's the that is one of the biggest tips, is run your own race. So I'm going out with pacing it for a 1:30 at the start to then get faster as we go through. That's what I've been training for. So
you're going for, only because somebody commented on this earlier. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll down.
It wasn't Hayden when he was looking at saying about improving your form, by the way.
No, it was
I didn't even see that.
Wow.
That's
why I started laughing.
I think it was Philip actually that says, how important is it to try and slightly negative split, and how do you prevent going off too slow? So you are trying to go for negative splits, aren't you?
Yeah, I will do. And the thing with that is it genuinely, it depends on you as a runner. There's some people who like to go consistent. There's other people will have seen the videos last year where someone broke me a few times. Remember, we did the St Albans 10K, and I was that just wasn't genuinely my race plan of going out and holding on, and I've kind of had to adjust to that now. So
no, you've had to cowboy up.
Yeah, basically, and maybe look at improving my form. I mean, remember, I've peaked as well, right? So
yes, we'll correct you. You have peaked, yes.
But for me, a negative split, I feel comfortable doing that. I think it's a good strategy to do. So kind of have that time that you want to get, to halfway, see what you've got in the tank, and just keep getting quicker. That's what I did in Chicago, and that really, that worked. Mm-hmm. I think Manchester, I did it slightly different, where I went out and then just fell off. Kim, absolutely. If there's a hot policeman, yeah.
Yeah, run 1 hour. With the elite.
I think
I'll win the thing.
I think the point on the negative split thing is it's different for different people.
Yeah.
Because I could never negative split, right? It's just not how I run. I do exactly what I tell anybody else never to do, which is I will go mad, as we know.
Well, Chicago, dear, you was on for like 3:45 at one point, and we're like texting each other going, she's gone nuts.
All I saw was a message come off my phone. I wasn't looking at anything, and I just saw something going from Chris going, Toby, are you going to call her or mine? I was thinking, what do they need to call me about? Like, what's going on?
Worried at 3:45 was coming. It was like, Jesus, she's going to blow up.
Well, she did. But
I think the thing is, right, the important takeaway really is, I'm probably getting in the mental state, what Al said about, but it's to have a strategy, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's your first, last, whatever. Respect the distance. Respect that it's a long race, the half marathon, 13 miles. Everyone does them on TikTok and whatever. I've done 20 half marathons in a day because I'm a hero. Respect the distance. Yeah, don't ever underestimate that it is an endurance event, and give it the respect it deserves. And have a strategy, because again, people, that's what will make a difference on race day. Now, the last thing, because I think it's important to do this. And I thought this one, you're going to like this, happening. That's true, because when I was talking about my issues with getting on a plane, right, and one of the tips that I was given, and this is written down for me, was when I finished the plane journey, was to write down all the positives and the positive experience that I had. So next time when I'm sitting at Terminal 2 and I'll start bricking it again, just about to pop another dice band. But on a serious point is to read that back and look at how or what the positive outcome of that was. Yeah. And it's the same with the race. You should enjoy the experience, but celebrate your achievement, no matter what it is. Yeah. Highs or lows. But sit down, honestly, after the race. So Sunday, whatever happens, you're going to get a PB after if you implement all this. But seriously, write down the positives from it. Whether that's in, oh, you're going to love this, Ben. Whether that's in our Believe training book that you can buy at Amazon. You're welcome. Go to fordyruns.com/store. But if you write it down in there, or, you know, you've got a piece of paper on your notes on your phone. But I'm being serious, yeah? This will make you a better runner. This will help you. Is by looking at the race and the build-up and writing down those positives and sort of re-emphasize that positive outcomes, no matter what they were. They might be small wins. They might be like, actually, you know what? I nailed that split. Or, you know, I finished and I didn't throw up or whatever. I don't know what it is, right? But honestly, I'm being serious. For somebody, you know, goes through that sort of therapy process, that was one of the things that I did as soon as I got off that plane. And that really helped me when I came back on the plane and came home. I read that. And it can, and so I want you to do the same when you do your run at the weekend, whether it's this weekend, Great North Run, whatever. It's really is that positive message that I wanted to finish on. Just enjoy the experience to a point, right? You are running 13.1 miles. Whether you're going hard, slow, whatever, just enjoy the experience. But celebrate your achievement. I think that's the key. Take the positives out of it. Even if it's absolute toilet in terms of how you run. Like I was beating myself up on Wednesday. But take the positives out of it, whatever that is. But take it out and learn from it and then implement that on your next race or run or whatever that is. Now, I think that's a great way to finish. We are now, as a reminder, we're going to go now record like part 2. I've got to remember what it is because I have, honestly, it's brilliant. I have actually forgotten what we're talking about, but I will find that out, guys, before we do a pre-record for the next one. So as a reminder, we are not here next Friday. Yeah, we're going to Newcastle to cause chaos. Make sure you listen to the pre-record if you're traveling to the Great North Run. I hope to see as many people as humanly possible at the Big Half on Sunday. If I don't see you there, I hope to see you at the Great North Run next week. If you are signed up for the Shakeout Run, make sure you check your email Sunday night. The full timetable and schedule of how everything's going to work is coming out. Okay. It's really important you read that, people. If you don't read it, you won't be coming and you won't be able to get your swag and your free gear and your huge discounts that are coming your way for that day. Okay. It's going to be a huge day. So make sure you do that. If you are running Sunday, be safe, be sensible. Like Al said, make sure you hydrate because it is going to be warm, 24 degrees. Be careful on those cobbles because they are murder. As admin said, it's a 2 out of 10 calls or whatever she said. Absolutely slandered them. I don't think there's anything else to add other than all the best. Ben, have you got anything to add to this week's show other than the fact that you're going to get broken at the weekend when you run 124?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone. Don't forget to come to the pub afterwards.
Oh, what's the deal with that? Tell everyone about
that. We are going to, is it called the Sailboat, Al? I want to say. Is that what,
it's not.
So all
it's
on,
not
yeah.
the Gypsy Moth or wherever we normally go to.
No.
What happened there? Did you get thrown out or something?
No, we're too big.
We're too big, yes.
Yeah.
We basically need our own pub. Oh, now there's an idea. Stella, get on it.
I've had a brilliant idea. Admin, have you got anything to add other than the fact that you need a cast for your foot?
No, but I refused the boot. I told them I didn't have time for that.
Did they seriously ask you to a boot if you wanted a boot?
Yeah. And
that would have been brilliant. Why didn't you get that? With the mileage we could have got on this show for months on that. Just think, this guy went to Florida.
Oh, there he is.
And look how much fun I've had for the last 2 months. Look, have a look again. See if you can spot him. Now, the question is, what would his name be? Because you've got Sneezy, Thingy. What would his name be?
Short.
Tiny?
Yeah.
Answers on a postcard.
Yeah, send it in to haydenisahobbit@gmail.com. Right, okay, that's it. Have you got anything to add other than don't go bushy because they don't like tourists?
Well, I'm not going to Bushy anyway because I'm going to celebrate Fletch coming back to run his first 5K tomorrow after beating
Okay.
cancer. So
Good
Bushy's
boy.
just going to have to wait because I want to be there to celebrate with him.
Okay, perfect. So there's that. Where is that? If anyone wants to go,
It's down in Mallings, Kent way towards Maidstone. So if you're
okay, perfect.
a loose end and you don't want to be part of 3,573 others at Bushy, come and join us at Malling.
There we go. You heard it here first. Right, team. So that's it. We shall see you all next week. Has anybody got the? Oh no, I'm in charge, aren't I? Outro is there. Okay, team. We'll see you later.